But I wanted to talk about not how to draw, but let's talk about different ways to add interest to the drawings. I'm really into this kind of, it's like a calligraphy ink pen brush tip. I got a whole bunch of them, and they actually have ink in them. When I was drawing with it earlier, I didn't know they had ink in them. I thought it was like a dip pen, but the ink was inside them. Sometimes I dip it in black ink just so I could get like a heavier line, but I am loving these. I got this at Michael's, so I don't know what it's called, but it's in those like pen section at Michael's. I think Michael's is in Canada and the US, I think. But anyway, I put my ink on in a glass dish. I chose 4 colors. First tip I have, we kind of covered yesterday, was to add blocks of color. So one of the things I like that I'm into at the moment is just adding sort of blocks of color. And I'm also trying to limit my palette. So I don't want to have a whole bunch of colors, but adding blocks to create points of interest. So I'm bringing in some of that pink from here to here, and just where can I put it to add blocks of interest. And so the next one I'm going to use is a dark blue. I'm not thinking about the colors I'm choosing, but darn, I love this color. This is gorgeous. I wish I had more. I should have put more in there. Okay, I'm just adding blocks of color, and I'm not thinking about it. That's the other thing. I like to create loosely, and I'm just adding it here. I wonder what happens if I'm adding some points of interest. I like it actually if you add a little water to it, because it waters it down a bit. Look at that. Oh, I've hidden the pink, but again, you're sort of playing. So step 1, add a few blocks of colors to add some interest. Okay, I'm really liking how that looks so far. So if you're using your sketchbook and you did a few random sketches and maybe it's not your best work, you can just add blocks of color and sort of see what happens. I love this pop of color. My next tip, other than adding blocks of color, is to add some writing into your art piece. It could be handwriting, it could be, I'm trying to find a pen. I've got a pen. You can add some writing. Whatever words resonate with you. I don't really like that too much because it's not dark enough, but let's see if I can do some writing. I'm gonna get a smaller, let's see, I've got another marker here. This one's a little bit, this is the same type of marker, but a smaller tip. You can add words. I'm just adding all like joy, blessed, smile, like whatever words you feel like adding. Or the other thing that I'm really into is patterns. Like I like drawing circles on their cheeks. I also can do like a pattern here if I wanted to with just like lines. And it doesn't have to be on the ladies. You can add lines anywhere. Like she's got lines here, maybe I'll bring lines down here, because you want to have it cohesive, right? If you're going to add a pattern in one area, try to add it in a couple of places to sort of bring your drawing together. I'm liking that. And maybe I'll do something here, like in her hair. And now I'm just gonna adjust her face. That's the other pattern I like, is this loopy line. I think I might want to do like right on her cheeks. If we're not playing, we're not going to improve in our art. I just want to remind you of that. If you are not playing, you're not going to improve. So you kind of have to be willing to mess up your artwork. And that's what a sketchbook is for, really. It's a place for you to make mistakes. And so now I'm just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I like this lady. She's quite dramatic. Okay, I'm liking these loopy lines. I'm liking this thicker line here. Maybe I'll make it thicker here. And again, part of the playing means that you're really going to discover new things, what you like and what you don't like. And when you do that, you're really discovering your own style. Because maybe you don't like this. Okay, so I did the pattern, I did the writing. I really like this. The other thing you could do, it's called Asemic writing. I have a video on that and I'll include a link in the description. And that's just like making it look like you're writing something, but really it's just like, looks like words, but it's not. It's just as though you are writing an illegible letter. Okay, I'm liking, this is fun. I feel like that looks pretty good. I don't know how many tips I gave. I said this would be 5, but it really could be more. I have no idea. I think the first was the color blocking, the words, the patterns, allowing mistakes. So I think I had 3. I kind of like the way this is going. So I'm going to take this off and I have another page prepared. And let's see what we can create here because I have a couple of more ideas, but I really let go when I was drawing these. There is no perfection required. This is normally how I draw a face, but I'm really enjoying this one. I'm really enjoying these kind of longer, thinner eyes. And with the dramatic eyelashes that go sort of right over their face, even her, so much fun. So normally I do like the short eyelashes, but these are dramatic. I'm loving the lips. So let's see what we can do next. I'm gonna have to clean out my little ink thing. I got this ink on sale. I think it was, I don't know, it was a clearance thing, but I see a lot of acrylic inks. And normally I use acrylic paint, but darn, I'm really enjoying this acrylic ink. Okay, again, let's block in some color. Ooh, I just love that pink. No rhyme or reason. And again, we can use patterns if we want, instead of like a full block of color. I want to do this a full block. And I feel like I want her lips to be pink. Ooh, isn't that fun? Again, just playing all of them. Gonna have those pink lips. We're just playing and seeing what we can do. So I've got that. The other thing that I thought might be interesting is if I took my paintbrush, dipped it in another color ink. This one's a green ink. What happens if I just like played around with a color that you wouldn't normally have on their faces? I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but we shall see. Again, my pattern, I've got the pattern that I like. And I might put that pattern here as well. I love this little lady. Okay, and I feel like maybe she could have like something in her hair. I kind of wanted to bring the color together. Okay, so that was the first part. And then the other thing that we were talking about was adding some writing. So maybe I'll do something like, there. Now you can have Asemic writing, you can have real writing, you can do it however you want, like some nice like, again. There we go, adding a little writing to her. We can do like a little pattern on this lady. Asemic writing. Maybe her hair is some Asemic writing. And so now that is looking good to me. The other thing is we could use a stamp. I have a stamp and I'm going to add a little bit of acrylic gold marker to the stamp. I could use ink, I just don't have any ink pads, and this is a very basic stamp, so I'm just gonna sort of color it. Gold, Liquitex Basics, and I painted the stamp. Hopefully you can see this. And now let's see if it works. I added some goopy, let's see. Oh yes, that worked well. I wonder if I could put it right here. I kind of like how it fades after a while. I wonder if I could do. Okay, I have another stamp right here that I loaded up with some stuff, and I'm gonna just plop it right on top of this lady's face. And you can't really tell, but it's a bird, so I'm just playing. Another thing that I got going on here that you could do is this briar or brayer, whatever you want to call it. Put like a little bit, I don't want too much on here, but you can add a little bit. Let's see. Kind of makes it look old. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking the way this lady is looking here. I'll get in there and get it closer. Okay. We've got a little stamp. And now what I want to do is possibly go over it again with some acrylic marker to make it stand out and add some of these tempera paint sticks to the ladies. For example, I added the neon pink here, and now maybe I just wanted to stand out a bit more. It's fun, again, to explore with your art supplies and see what you can do. I'm adding some stuff there. I think what I'm going to do is add a darker pink as well to her lips. And maybe even create something interesting here. And have a little fun with it. She'll have two different colors. There's no rhyme or reason. You kind of have to play. Again, repeating a pattern, maybe going on top of some of the stuff to create some points of interest so everything's not the same. I don't think I want to add purple or anything, but do I want to? I kind of like these colors, but I'm like, do I want to add a little blue in this woman's crown? And if I add a little blue here, I'm backing up to see what it looks like. Maybe I'll add like a little something here. And in here. And I'm not at all certain what I'm doing. Maybe add a little purple here. Okay. These tempera paint sticks are a great way to add interest to your artwork. Loving that. I am loving that. So now you can stop if you want, or actually, I don't even think I want to do anything to this one, but you can if you want to, right? I don't know which one's my favorite. I really like the dark, this like bold black with just a few colors and my line work here. This was super fun. I love this lady. And then this one, I'm just think the playfulness of the playfulness of their faces, but I also like a lot of the white space. And that's another thing too, having like some white space. One of the first things I learned about, you know, that really stuck with me when I was learning to draw and paint was that sometimes you need, especially if you have a lot of bold colors or bold lines, sometimes you need a place to rest your eyes so your eyes and your mind isn't like as busy as the artwork. I'm liking that. Now let's try one more. Again, I've got a How to Draw Faces ebook. If you haven't seen it yet, walks you through the process on how to draw faces. I am really liking that. I'm going to leave that link to the book, ebook. It's downloadable in the comments. So the eyes, I'm really, like I said, I'm really liking this sort of dramatic line that comes right off the face. That's what I'm into at this particular moment. That could change. And I'm going to just draw like a little line for the nose. Let's see if, I'm not going to draw her lips because I'm going to probably put it in with pink or something. So now what I'm going to do is try to draw like a side profile. This is what I've been really enjoying doing. Like maybe a dot for the eye. Like this is super... I have a video on how to draw profiles as well, but this is really a challenge, and I've really enjoyed trying to just do a profile really loosely. And again, in your sketchbook, it's the place to play and create. And I don't, you know, obviously I know that this chin is wrong. That's okay. I'm going to add some cheek color. Her forehead should be longer. Their face is not, you know, it's not wide enough. But again, if you're playing, my goal is to be able to draw loosely and freely faces at any angle without thinking and without a reference photo. So I really have to put that into practice. And I have to be able to, whoops, back up and see what I'm doing. I'm gonna add a little bit. This ink is a lot of fun. Okay, I feel like that looks good. I like a thick cat eye that comes right off. And then maybe her face is wonky, but I feel like I'm okay with that. I'm loving her. She's not quite the way I want her to be. And again, step back. Have a look at what you're doing. These are the final artworks. And I had so much fun playing with my art supplies to see what I could do. It all was basically inspired by these little sketches that I did yesterday. And this was the final one that honestly I'm not overly happy with. But again, you kind of have to play and figure out what you like and don't like. There's just way too much going on here, but that's fine because I'm going to keep it and keep it as a reference for what I like and what I don't like. And again, pick one thing that you like. I like all the color blocking here. I think the color blocking is great in keeping it simple for me, simple. I like the little patterns and mark making. In this one, I particularly like the way I did their eyes and how I played with that bold pink and the gold, even though that was kind of a fun little, I don't know, distraction because it didn't work out the way I wanted. This whole sketch that I did it last night. This whole sketch, I just thoroughly enjoyed practicing my, my artwork. And this one, the last one, usually the last one's your best one, but in this case, the last one is when I have the tendency to go overboard, which I did. At first, this was my favorite, but now I'm thinking I just like the overall look of her face. Her eyes aren't my favorite, but I do like her hair. And for whatever reason, I'm into all of these little cute patterns, lines, hearts. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Let me know how it went for you and happy sketching.